guys, so I have an interesting video for you today, and it was inspired by the Persian Babe. I saw this video on her channel recently, and it's the hair journey tag or video or whatever you want to call it. I think it's a really awesome idea because I love hair. I love looking at people's hair, getting hair inspiration, figuring out what I can do with my hair. I've never gone any wild colors, but I just don't think I could pull it off, especially if I get a teaching job. I can't exactly walk in with purple or teal hair. I don't think that would fly too well. But I'm going to share my hair journey with you guys and add in lots of photos when I can and talk about how we got to where we are today. So starting off as a kid, first of all, when I was younger or little, I wasn't allowed to grow my hair, or I wasn't able to grow my hair. I don't know how you want to phrase that. But when I was a little baba, I was definitely blonde. I was really fair-haired. Obviously I had blue eyes, so I was like the little fair child. But when I got to like, I don't know, kindergarten or so, my hair was definitely like brown. My hair is not dark brown. I'm not trying to tell you it's dark brown because it's not dark brown, it's light brown. But I used to get called dirty blonde all the time, and for me it was the biggest insult ever. I don't know why, but I would get the hump. Like, I would get so annoyed with whoever called me dirty blonde. I'd be like, don't talk to me, like I don't know you. Really not sure where that came from. So yeah, so my hair just naturally got darker as I got older. And I remember when I was in grade 6 or grade 7, I actually wrote, this is so funny and embarrassing to say that, I wrote a petition to my mother to let me grow my hair. That sounds so sad, but it's true. Like, I was dead set on having my hair long, and I was like, I'm going to have it, because my mom was notorious for, we'd go to the hairdressers, and we went to the same place for like years and years and years, and she would tell the hairdresser to like chop, and I'd be like, oh yeah, just a little bit, and the woman would be like, yeah, just a little bit, and the next thing I know, I'd have the haircut my mom wanted me. I was very annoyed. But yeah, so I got everyone, I had my teacher sign my petition, my whole class, the other class would be like grade 7s, whatever grade I was. It was hilarious. And so my mom was like, okay, you can grow your hair. And so around grade 6 and 7, I would get leftover highlights from my mom. So she used to get blonde and like kind of coppery reds put into her hair, and so I would get the remnants. I really don't know if I have any photos of that. I will try and find some. But that was like my first dose of color. And then in grade 9, I think it was, pretty sure it's grade 9. Grade 9, I also got blonde and copper highlights for my semi-formal, remember that? And then I also put, this doesn't exist anymore, but there used to be a product called Color Pulse, and they had a copper, and I got it because I've always wanted to be a redhead. I think what put me on to wanting to be redhead was Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan. I loved it. My mom told me when I was little that when I was 16 was the age I could dye my hair red. Yeah, so through high school, like, I just let those highlights grow out. I've never been fussy on upkeep. If you guys have been following me for a few years, you'll know when I had my red hair, I was just like, let it grow, let it grow. But yeah, so it was first year of uni. It was in February of first year. It was actually the weekend of Valentine's Day that I decided I was going to become a redhead. And I had waited long enough, and I was finally a redhead, and I was so excited, and my entire family was like, don't do it! Yeah, most of my cousins, I think actually all my cousins, even like my aunt, people were just like, don't do it, what are you doing, it's not gonna look good, la la la, and I was like, no, I need to find out for myself. And the moment I was a redhead, they were all like, damn, like, you pull that off. And I was just like, thank you very much. Totally because of the freckles and the blue eyes and pale skin. Yeah, so when I first did my red hair, I was a redhead for 2.5 years, give or take. The first red was like ultra natural. It was super natural. A lot of people who actually met me in the second semester of university didn't actually realize I wasn't a redhead, despite, you know, having like massive roots growing in. Some people just didn't clue into that. It was really funny. So when I told them that I was actually a brunette, people were like, you've lied to me the entire time I've known you. And I was like, you never asked. So that was pretty funny. And then that summer, so about 6 months later, I went in to get my hair revamped because I used to be part of Frosh, which is like the orientation week of university. And so my red hair had kind of become my symbol, and I was a new Frosh leader that year, and so I was like, everyone's gonna know me as the loud redhead, so I need to amp this up a bit. So I went in to my salon, and I go to a new talent salon for a big salon in Mississauga area, because it's like dirt cheap in comparison. And I remember talking to the girl and saying that I wanted to have red hair and that maybe I'd come back for like some golden highlights just to give it a bit more of dimension, because sometimes with the red it was very flat, so I wanted to give it some tone and some life. So she actually added gold into the red dye because she wasn't paying attention. When I was handed off to another girl to get my hair blow dried, she did like this patch and I was just like, that's not red. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, stop, halt, desist. This isn't red. This is like maybe a light gingery blonde kind of color, or like an ombre. It wasn't red. So I made a comment saying like, it needs to be more of this, more of that. And he's like, that's cool, like we'll go fix it. So he basically put straight up undiluted red hair dye on me, and I had fire engine red hair and I loved it. It was so obnoxiously bright. And I think it might have actually been my favorite red. That red, I was getting compliments left, right, and center for it. And for me, like with the reds, it would fade and then start to grow out a bit, so I could really like milk it. Like I said, I never did upkeep because I never knew how long I wanted to commit to it. And then the next summer, after I had that growing out for like almost a year, I did a red with a blonde underlayer. So that red actually became kind of like a burgundy red. Like in person, it was still red, but it had, I guess, more of a purpley kind of undertone to it. I don't know. And then they just bleached an inch or so underneath my hair of my underlayer. And they were actually super impressed with how blonde they could get it because of the fact that they were lifting red and my natural color to make it blonde. And it was definitely like a straw blonde. And that's what I was like, I could never go blonde, because like I would like hold up my face and be like, this doesn't look right, I couldn't do this. Obviously it was the wrong tone, like you wouldn't have done your whole head that way. But you know, just saying. Really loved that. It looked bomb when I would put it into braids, or do just kind of any hair look whatsoever, because you could see the blonde whip through, and I loved it. It was great. And then again, like a year later, I decided I wanted to go back to my natural color, but I wanted ombre. And this is when ombre was like really starting to get noticed, and like more and more people were doing it. So I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And I remember the girls were like, oh, we'll do like a subtle ombre, because they didn't like the harsh one. And I didn't really agree to it. I was just like, okay, like let's see how it goes kind of thing. And it wasn't like the ombre that I had recently, but I still liked it. I actually have a video of that reveal from going from the blonde and burgundy to the, I'm gonna call it sombre, the soft ombre kind of look. So I'll definitely link that down below, or like maybe put it on the screen here or something. Yeah, so did that, and then in between all of this, I've had haircuts. I think my most dramatic haircut, other than like recently, was when I was in end of grade 11. I had hair almost down to my waist, and I cut it to just touching my shoulders. So this picture that I'm showing is actually 2 months after I cut it. So there's like an inch or so growth to it, but it was a photo of Jessica Simpson that inspired me for that. I started off in grade 11 because I was going away for a month to visit my mom, and she was in Kentucky at the time, and she had a pool, so I could literally just like run my fingers through my hair and it'd be brushed, compared to like hair down to your waist, where if you got out of the pool, like you had to go get a comb and brush through your hair, otherwise you'd have like this nasty mop on your head. And yeah, I've kind of like chopped it a few times through uni. Sometimes it looked more drastic than others, other times it was just a few inches off. But yeah, so then cut back to this past year. I was in England, unless you guys are new to my channels. I was in England and decided that one of my cousins was going to help me dye my hair, because she does her hair from home. So I was like, you know what, I like your hair, you can do this. It was the first time she'd ombre'd, but that's okay, it worked. So you guys saw that. So I was originally going to lighten the ends more and keep the length. But my best friends and I have been talking about like shorter hair for a while. She was thinking about it. I was thinking about it, and we were kind of like, we both didn't want to do it at the same time, like right away, and then look like twins. But you know, besties, we can do that. We can make it work. And we ended up doing it almost around the same time. So yeah, so I decided I'll cut my hair first and then figure out what colors I wanted to do. For the last few months, I'd say about 3 months, maybe less than 3 months, I've had a lot of people mention me going blonde. And I think part of it is because when I cut my hair, apparently my resemblance to Scarlett Johansson got stronger to like the young ScarJo. So because ScarJo is blonde, obviously when I had my red hair I looked a lot like her, and I'll like post like a comparison of when she was like Black Widow. But yeah, so I think once I cut my hair, a lot of people were like, oh, you need to go blonde, you need to try it, and I've been terrified. Absolutely terrified to go blonde. I would rather chop my hair, well, not too short, but like to my shoulder than to go blonde, because it frightens me. I don't know why. Obviously I get the right tone and all that jazz, but I am seriously considering going blonde. So I think I'll be going blonde probably like May, June or something like that, like before my birthday. But it'll be like my blonde hair for summer, and then we'll see if I catch the blonde bug and keep it longer. If not, I'll just go back to this and just let it grow out and be like a natural ombre, or maybe like break it up a little bit or something, I don't know. But I still have a little bit of my ombre hair, which is kind of nice. It gives my hair a little bit more dimension. But yeah, that is my hair journey. Look at all this beautiful hair. Ah. And then just for random side note, because I haven't mentioned this, is I have thin hair or fine hair, but like a lot of it. So like when it's down, you can't really tell that it's not thin, and then you like put it into like a braid or a ponytail, and you can see that it's really not that thick at all. But it's deceiving, which I'm okay with. I wish I had thick hair, but you know, you win some, you lose some. Both my parents have thin hair, but a lot of it, so I was like, at least I got a lot of it. But I would love to hear what your hair journey's been, if you've had some outlandish hair colors, or you've just done a range of blondes, you've maybe gone platinum or like white or silver. One color I could never ever do, and I don't think anyone could persuade me otherwise, is to go black. Or even, I don't even think I could go, don't even think I'd really go much darker than my natural color, because I feel like it would just make me uber pale. And I already look uber pale with brown hair. So that's why I'm a little hesitant with the blonde. Like, I want to make sure it warms up my skin tone and doesn't wash me out. But yeah, that's my hair adventure. I'd love to hear yours. If you have any suggestions for videos, all that jazz, leave them down below. You can hit me up on all my social media, including Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya!